back in studio at the Well Off podcast at iHeartMedia in Hartford. Tara, welcome back.
Thank you. I love being here.
Such a good time. So we just finished wrapping up Mental Health Awareness Month in May, and we hope you learned a lot of good tips that Dr. Tara put out and the Well Off podcast. And because, mental health is so important, and it's one of the things we really want to focus on this podcast because, you look at someone on social media, for instance, and you think, okay, they have this great life, everything's good, everything's perfect, but you really don't know what's going on.
It's true. And everyone is truly fighting a battle that no one is aware of. And I think today's guest will really teach us that lesson. Yeah. Today in studio, we have someone who I absolutely adore. She is an accomplished woman, but I think one of her biggest attributes is she's my friend and is a gift to everyone that knows her. Today we have Christen Sachs, who is a global and lifestyle broker. She's an international social media mogul. But her newest title, which she will be talking about here today, is she is a breast cancer survivor. Welcome to the Well Off podcast.
Welcome.
Thank you.
My dear and beautiful friend.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And boy, do we have a lot to unpack today.
Yes.
We do. And we really appreciate you making the trek up here from New Jersey to Connecticut.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Love it. Yes. We're so happy to have you in person.
Well, the last time we spoke was a couple years ago.
Yes.
Obviously. And I had a couple minutes with Tara not too long ago to let her know what I was going through because only a few people knew. And I really wanted to keep this super private.
Yeah. Christen was on my old podcast, and that's we met actually through Tara after Tara was on my podcast. So I just love how everything comes full circle.
It really does. And I have always admired you. And now it's like that is multiplied by 1,000 because you are such an inspiration in being a single mother, in being a leader in real estate and lifestyle brokerage. And I am in awe of your success and what you've accomplished. And now to add this very, very personal journey to the list of accolades, we feel very grateful.
Yes.
That you're sharing that story here with us. So would you mind talking about your new cancer journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So my objective today is to not cry because this is actually a celebration because it started, one of our dear friends and agents was battling cervical cancer last year.
Yes.
And we lost her later in the year, and it was debilitating to all of us. A true, beautiful person, married just 2 years. We were all there in Mexico. She found it late, stage 4, and, we're now, going through the whole process of understanding why it had to happen to someone so beautiful and so young and the unpredictability of cancer. And it was just weeks later that I got my diagnosis. And I found out just by going to a routine gynecologist appointment, going for a mammogram. And anybody with breast implants knows that you have to be a little bit more specific with the mammogram because it's hard to see. And so I went for the mammogram and they found nothing.
Okay.
Then they brought me in for an ultrasound, and that's where they found it.
Wow.
And the doctor said, by the looks of this, it looks completely benign, but we're just going to biopsy it just in case.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, okay, a little nervous.
Anxiety starting to set in.
You know what? It'll be fine. A few women in my family have had plenty of biopsies, but I do have history of breast cancer in my family. I have my both grandmothers. I've had cancer with my grandfather, my aunt. So it has run through my family. So I wanted to make sure that I was checking myself. So I ended up getting the call in an Uber on my way.
My God.
To speak in front of 250 people.
Oh, my God.
And all I could do was, in the moment, say, okay. And you're just processing. But I needed to just kick into solution mode in that moment and say, okay, what's next?
Right.
And poor thing. I had somebody in the car with me, and she's just, tears are rolling down her face because she's processing for me. But I'm like, I need to stay mentally ready to speak right now in front of everybody.
Right.
So I ended up putting it on a shelf, and I went through our conference with, smiles and photos and, the parties and all of the things. And the next day, they had scheduled me for the surgeon. And so I went in to do listen, the end of the story is that I have to celebrate that it was something that was early enough that could be solved by surgery and radiation and solved, right? So many women can't. They get to it too late. So that's the end of the story. The in between is where it gets, a little hairy, because the journey of cancer is, again, it's something that's so unpredictable. And being a boss bitch like I am,
Yes.
I like to understand what's happening and what's going on.
Yeah.
But I'm also, in the same breath, able to be agile and be nimble and be able to be proactive. So it's a whole vulnerability. And any podcast I've ever been on has been kind of prepared for, and business. And we talk a lot about, things of a professional, kind of mindset.
Yep.
And I wanted to come in today and be completely vulnerable and can be completely honest about this journey, because nobody, by looking at my everyday, would know what I was going through.
Sure.
Like, not even a glimpse.
So before we dive into more of the breast cancer, tell our listeners who you are and what you do.
I'd like to say I'm a jack of all trades, to be honest, because I'm a mother of an adult child, which I can't even believe.
I can't even believe it either, looking at you, because you look about 30. So,
and I need a little Botox right now too. Yeah, I my daughter's about to be a college student, so I'm a mother, most importantly. But I am a global real estate lifestyle broker, which we can dive into what that is. I'm also a board member. I'm on the board of trustees for Catholic Charities. I am also a media mogul. I absolutely love media and fashion. I own a couple businesses, but I'm a team leader. I'm a founder of a few companies, and most importantly, just being an overall connector and networker of all industries.
yeah. Okay. And, I follow you on social media, and you have such a great presence there, and your videos and everything's just so great. I'm like, Tara, how do we get our stuff to look like Christen?
Thank you. Well, to be truthful, I mean, when I first started, I look back at some of the videos. I'm like, oh God, what was I doing?
Oh my God.
But you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And, doing it, whether it's perfect or not,
Right.
Making the effort and just doing it rather than, perfecting it. That's the most important part. So just putting it out there, just post it.
Well, we just got our first selfie stick.
Yeah. But looking back and having that reaction is important, because it's a barometer of growth. You can see, wow, I've really evolved, and I've accessed a certain level of success. So I think that it's great that you look back and see that.
Well, if you look at my Instagram, you look at my overall brand in general,
Yeah.
most people are going to look at it as my winning season, as far as, listen, people could love me, hate me, whatever it is, but they definitely have seen something before, just because I'm so consistent with
Right.
putting content out.
Right.
But growth over anything, to me, is the most important. And whether that is spiritual growth, or if it's professional growth, personal growth, whatever it is, as long as you're growing, I can't sit still. So it's really important for me just to continue to move. But that's important for the people that work with me too. I want to make sure that's happening for everyone.
So you sell houses, you sell yachts.
I will literally sell anything. And that's what makes me more diversified in this field, is that I don't care what you're looking for. I'm in the service industry.
Yeah.
Whether I'm in real estate, or I'm in yachting, or I'm in, lifestyle or fashion, whatever it is, I'm in the service industry. So if you're looking for something, I would like to serve you and be successful in that. So whatever you need. You need a Birkin bag? I'll help you find one of those too.
I love that. Yes, we do. So, Christen, being so many important things, a mother being primary and being entrepreneurial and international and very visible, how did the cancer diagnosis impact you? Like, what were your immediate thoughts of what this would mean to your life?
I think initially when you're processing it, it's more about how is this going to affect, my daughter. Mm-hmm. So when you're going through all of the testing, everything happens in stages. So it's not like, hey, you have cancer. Congratulations. Now take A to B to C and you're done. That's not how it works.
No.
It is very much, okay, well, we need to test you for this. You need to have an MRI for this. We need to then test you for this. And then once this one comes back, then we're going to test you for that. And so it goes through this whole process, right? So you're processing every time. And I think the hardest thing for me is that I organize myself and my life accordingly. And with this, you have no control.
Right.
Yeah.
You literally have no control. And for me, again,
That's a challenge.
to not have the control about how I can handle it was something that I needed to process. But in the same breath, I knew whatever the issue was or whatever the mountain I needed to climb was, I knew that I would be fine.
Yeah.
I knew that I could handle it. Okay, I need a double mastectomy. I need to get my breasts removed. Fine. At least I'm alive, right? It was then, do I test positive for the BRCA gene? Because that's going to affect my daughter. And that was weighing. Oh my God, that was weighing on me. Thankfully, I was negative for that.
Oh,
so
good.
that was,
Yeah.
Thank God.
So when you think about your family, how it affects your daily life, it was more about how are my genes going to affect her? And so thankfully, the buck stopped there. So I don't have to worry about that for her. But it really does affect you because my whole life is on display as far as like me being out there constantly. And this was a huge secret.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody. And it was because I wanted to process for myself in real time. But then also, let's be honest, the people that I work with care about me. It's inevitable because I build relationships with everyone. So if I tell them what's going on with me, they're naturally going to be empathetic and they're not going to want to bother me and they're not going to want to reach out to me. And then, maybe I would lose business from it.
Yeah.
And that's a reality, unfortunately, but it
And
is.
cancer scares people.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
I mean, I've lost friends when I was diagnosed.
Yeah.
So they just didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because people don't know how to handle bad news, right?
Right.
And
That too.
they can't handle negativity.
Or vulnerability.
So I told a few people that went to appointments with me, like need to know type situation. And for me, that worked for privacy. However, I was battling the privacy every day because I'm a really terrible liar. So when people ask me where I was or what I was doing, and meanwhile I'm getting my hair removed because I have to go into an MRI machine because of the copper,
metal clips
the
or
metal
whatever you
clips
had.
and
Yes.
the extensions. And I'm just telling everybody, I'm taking a break. When in actuality, it was like a devastating blow for me. Which is fine now, right? But it starts feeling like you're changing a little bit, right? And I didn't want the cancer to do that to me. I didn't want it to change me. So taking out the extensions to do the MRI, thankfully we did the MRI because they found another tumor in the MRI.
Oh, no.
And then we had to do another biopsy. Luckily, that one was negative. But remember, the highs and lows, because you're up and down through every appointment, you don't know what's going to happen. So you kind of just have to brace yourself for impact. And that's what I was doing. But I knew, again, I kick into survival mode and it's like, I'm going to war.
I have a saying that I used, and it was expect the best, prepare for the worst.
Yes.
Because you want to be positive, but when they give you some news that you don't like, if you're not prepared for it, it's going to crush you.
I'll tell you, and my friends will tell you, when I went to the breast surgeon I had to go to multiple, right? I had to go to a plastic surgeon as well because I have breast implants. So they have to talk about removal and all of these things. And when we went into the breast surgeon, every single time, I'd have an entourage with me, and everybody is so positive and everybody has such great energy. Every time I left, she said, I just want to take off the rest of the day and hang out with you guys because I've never seen anybody deal with this so positively. And your energy is just so amazing. And you're having, you're such good energy. So that made me feel really good because there was no other choice.
Right.
You had to be,
So one of the things that you brought up earlier, Christen, that Gina is a warrior and expert at this, but I am the spouse of a cancer survivor. So the two things that I remember from that traumatic stage of life 4 years ago was the initial diagnosis, like hearing that word, it's like a screeching halt, needle on the record to your life. Like everything changes after that moment. But I, like you and Gina, am a very busy woman and I have a full schedule. And I remember that cancer took full control over our schedule. We didn't get to make appointments when it worked for us. The cancer treatment center where he received all his treatment, they put in the portal. And it's like, I have this tomorrow, I have that the next day. And it's like, oh my God, like just trying to figure that out. But the biggest thing, and I know that you two are surrounded by a tremendous amount of love and support. And so this is more of a validation for your loved ones, is that I needed to be front and center for my husband, but I had so much that I needed to process and talk about my fears. So I went back into therapy, right? The therapist getting therapy again, because it's hard. And I'm sure it's been so, I know for Gina's family and friends it was, and for you. So, I mean, are you hearing or seeing that like from your daughter? And I know today you have your fan club with you. So, I mean, are you aware of that? Like how scared people are for you?
I do and I don't. I think if you know me and you're close to me, you know that I'm always going to be aggressively confident with whatever I'm doing. And so I've made it more, I think I normalized it in my house. So Ella was very much like, in her mind, I think she's just so used to mom's beast mode and like she's fine, right?
Yeah.
But, right? she's a warrior herself. I mean, oh my gosh. But normalizing it and making, she told me I made it so nonchalant. And I think that was the most important thing I could have done for her, because we just found out in December, we found out she got into NYU.
Congratulations, Mom.
Thank you.
Huge accolade.
And then weeks later, we find out I have breast cancer, right? So it's almost like I didn't want to steal any of that excitement, right? So through this whole process of surgeries and radiation and everything that's going on, we've prioritized going to NYU, and we've prioritized spending time together and making sure that, we're going to concerts. I have radiation and, it takes a toll on you, makes you really tired halfway through the day. And, but creating a schedule so she knows, like, I'm okay. Mom's at the gym. She does radiation at 7:15, and then she's at the gym by 8:00. And she's taking care of herself. And, I think being a mother, a single mother specifically, it's so important for me to model the behavior for her. And I think there's so many people that will say and talk and explain, but they don't actually do. And that for me was so important, to show her what strength looks like, show her that this isn't a big deal. I'm fine. And, I'll tell you, I think I cried worse when she got into NYU than I did when I got breast cancer.
Well, that's good. That's happy tears.
Yeah.
Right. Because I was so excited about it.
So what treatments did you have? So you were diagnosed, what kind of surgery did you have?
I had a full lumpectomy and lymph node removal, and then radiation for 4 weeks.
So you just finished that up?
Yes.
And how was that?
I think when we talk about mental health, it's about mentally preparing yourself and mentally committing to the cause of whatever it is. So I knew going into radiation in the morning, I needed to take care of myself and still continue my normal daily routine. So do the radiation, and I'll stop there for a second because I think the nurses and the doctors and everybody kind of minimize it a little bit.
I was going to say, let's dig into what, so, people don't really know. What is radiation? Exactly.
So radiation therapy is a preventative therapy so the cancer doesn't come back. So going through the surgery, when they take the cancer out, the lymph nodes out, I don't think people understand the full process, but I was in a bed in the hospital getting radioactive product shot into me to track how it flowed from my breast tissue into the lymph nodes, right? Because your lymphatic system will drains out.
Yeah.
And lymphatic massagers are so important. But they shot it in so they could track it, and then they followed those lymph nodes that it went to, and they've removed those so that if I got cancer again, it wouldn't spread to that area.
Right.
And you're in the bed for surgery getting this radioactive stuff, and it's all like so surreal, right? Of course, I'm taking real estate calls in the during the same time frame.
And then she's got her selfie stick, and she's like, "And we're here."
I'm still working. I do have the picture I took at the same time. I'll share it with you. But so when you come out of the hospital, you are actually considered cancer free. If you have clear margins, you're cancer free. And so I didn't realize leaving the hospital how much weight, how much stress, how much I really put on the shelf.
Yeah.
Because once I left the hospital is when I kind of broke down a little bit, because that was like,
Right.
I made it through. Okay, now I'm halfway there. Now I just have a little bit more to get through. But then when you get to radiation, they say, oh, it's no problem. Just get in there and it takes 7 minutes and then you're out.
Right.
Okay. Well, let's really unpack that for a second. You're going into a cancer center, right? Which is mixed with everyone that has different diagnoses, and they have.
And you're one of the younger ones in there.
I'm one of the youngest in there.
Yeah.
And they are being treated for various things. Chemotherapy, radiation, I mean, kind of mixed bag.
Did you go to Memorial Sloan?
No, I went to the breast center in Bayshore is where I had my surgery. And then I went to the breast center at Meridian in Brick.
Okay.
Which is part of the Hackensack Meridian healthcare system.
Exactly.
In New Jersey.
Exactly. So when you go into that center, you meet with the oncologist, then there's radiation oncologists. There's so many different, but you have to meet with all of them, right? And then the oncologist is telling you like, hey, these are the things you probably shouldn't eat anymore. This is the diet you need to have. Oh, by the way, you need to be on a cancer medication for the next 5 years, to a person that never takes any medication. But it changes your lifestyle because you have to now stop all birth controls. You have to eat differently. You have to take the tamoxifen, right?
Oh, so you were hormone positive.
Does that mean that?
Yes.
I don't even know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Then I don't know.
Yeah. Yes.
Gina could be an oncologist.
I could be.
She's so well versed.
I'm not digging into any more research because I don't even want to know any more about this.
Right.
But let's get back to the radiation piece. You get on a table completely exposed, and you're laying there while this machine is throwing this radiation all over, that particular spot, but you can't breathe.
You have to hold your
You
breath.
have to hold your breath. And nobody tells you about this until you're actually in there. And
oh, really? I had to practice. They told me like, you're going to have to hold your breath and you need to practice. Because like you have to hold it for like 2 minutes.
it's a very long
Wow,
time.
2
Yeah.
minutes.
Especially for someone who's like afraid of drowning all the time.
Yeah. It's
I
intense.
don't like to hold my breath. And so, so you're in there fully exposed. You're staring at the ceiling. And it's one of the most vulnerable times for a woman or a man to be exposed like that. And I just remember thinking, okay, well, this is almost over. It's almost over, and I'll be through it.
Right.
So again, I am so grateful that this is all I had to do.
That you didn't have to do the chemotherapy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because a week after I was diagnosed, a friend in my circle was also diagnosed. She was stage 3, much larger tumor that needed to get chemotherapy to reduce the size. And she hasn't had her surgery yet. But again, we're all going through different things.
Right.
And, going back to something that you originally said, it's you never know what anybody is going through, and you just have to be remember to be kind, because I didn't share this on purpose, but nobody knew what I was going through. Not my agents, not my clients, not friends, even family members still don't know that I was going through this. But I went every single day as if my day was normal, and I, just went through the process.
Did they give you tattoos to mark? Because they have to permanently mark you.
So right now I actually have tape still stuck to me because I did not want the tattoos, because I just didn't want to remember them. Right.
See, I didn't have a choice. And I have all
my
these,
husband didn't either.
I have all these dots around my breast.
They gave me an option. Well, they went to go tattoo me, and I was like, whoa. Speaking from a person who has her whole back tattooed, I just didn't want it directly in between my cleavage. I just didn't want to look at it all the time.
Yeah.
So they did henna for me.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's great.
And I didn't have that option. That was a long time.
Yeah, my husband either. And did they make a cast for your body?
They did.
Yeah.
These
are all the little things
I didn't do that.
Until you go through it, you don't realize, because any slight movement could mean you're getting radiation somewhere where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, and I think I was very lucky the first few weeks. I didn't have any effect from the radiation until now. Your whole breast is completely burning red.
Raw.
I have blisters forming, and
The worst is at 2 to 3, 4 weeks after radiation is done. That's when your skin really. So that's what you're experiencing right now.
but in the grand scheme, if that's all I have to deal with,
Right.
it's fine.
But I think those are the things that people hear cancer and they have these preconceived notions, but they don't know these little nuances, right? So again, someone is always battling something and dealing with something that we have no idea, because it's not in our sphere of consciousness. It's not in our repertoire. But Christen, you mentioned hearing now you have to eat different foods. So talk to our listeners about what your health and wellness practices were pre-diagnosis and what they are now.
I think it took me a long time. I'm 43 now. And when I was younger, I did some athletic stuff like dancing, but I wasn't a true athlete, right? And when I got into my 30s, I really did try to be better at the, CrossFit gyms and trying different workouts, but I was never consistent because my job always came first.
Right.
Being a single mom, you don't have a ton of time with, especially
the luxury of time, right?
But I was traveling into the city for work. So, I was at the mercy of mass transportation, right? So my health always came secondary. But over the past few years, especially being an entrepreneur, I knew for my own mental sanity that I needed to have my own routine. As far as the gym, I need to feel good about myself. I need to feel good about my body. I need to feel healthy. And then, most importantly, I need my own mental cleanse, because I deal with so much chaos through the day. I need to meditate. So the sauna is a big part of my day. So when we think about the disruption I had in my world too, I haven't been able to do the sauna through radiation. They won't allow you to.
Got it.
When you're getting your breast surgery, you're certainly not lifting weights, right?
No, right.
So that was very disruptive. But again, radiation in the morning, I went straight to the gym Monday through Friday to make sure that I was there. I was showing up for myself. And even if I didn't get to do the sauna, or if I didn't get to do the chest workouts or whatever it was, at least I was moving my body and I was doing something. I was putting my workout gear on. I was there because then I mentally will eat better throughout the day as well, right? So I have to think twice now about energy drinks or just alcohol in general, any carcinogens. There's a lot that they want you to think about. Some of the fruits and vegetables you can't even get away from, pesticides or where they're coming from. So I have to stay away from processed foods. They said if I want to drink, have a really, really good clean tequila.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh.
So
What is your drink?
I'm a
then?
tequila girly now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of tequila do you drink?
There's a lot of like the popular brands, but some of the true like better, cleaner tequilas are, smaller in its brand name, but
Okay.
they come from, different places. So I don't really have one of choice yet, but I am welcome to taste test.
I love
How
that. Wait,
interesting,
I
right?
know, that is interesting. Yeah, my oncologist said like I'm a vodka water drinker, so I was just drinking the vodka water, but I have reduced my alcohol intake significantly.
Yeah. Yep.
And recently we just heard, right, that drinking X amount of alcoholic drinks per week, it's not many. I think it's like 5 a week, something.
I don't know.
Kind of, it sounded small, is the equivalent of smoking X amount of cigarettes per day.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so that alcohol might soon start having warning labels on it the way a pack of cigarettes does.
Wow.
Yeah, but interesting. So you are so many amazing things, and I know that today's agenda was really to talk about you through this different lens, this new identity.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that we ask all of our guests here is, what does well off mean to them?
Being a single parent from pregnancy, I think, being well off was always about just surviving, right? It was about just making enough money to, get her to the next. And then as I grew myself into the woman I am today, being well off was never about chasing the dollar. It was survival for me at that point. And now it's just about health. It's about happiness. It's about, how can I continue to be an inspiration or influence to other women? If I can share my story today and it affects one person to say, hey, I'm going to make that appointment for my mammogram, or I'm going to get to the gynecologist, or I'm going to go get that, lump checked, wherever it is. If it just is one person that is impacted by this, then that is well off to me,
I
Absolutely.
have the chills.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
That's-
And that's what we
I was
hope
going to say
for.
that's what we want. If we can help one person, if one person listening takes anything away from this, then, we've done our job.
Yeah, we can't control the things that happen to us in our life. We can't, but we can control how we react to them. And if we can continue to, inspire or influence in a very positive way, whether that is me, helping agents in my office, or if it's, someone that's been experiencing domestic violence, or somebody who is also going through breast cancer and is hiding it just like I did.
Yeah.
I think we all have our own processes, but I'm here. I'm always available. I pick up the phone if, someone needed an attorney because they needed to get out of the relationship they were in because it was toxic. I'm the one that connects them. So that's it. That's really my objective in life, is just to be of service.
I love that. Before we let you go, you are in the real estate industry. Can you just give us a quick little tip? What do you see in the market right now, and are interest rates ever going to drop?
Oh my gosh. It's funny because I don't follow the market in a traditional way that other agents do, because I am very much like a racehorse where I have these blinders on and I just put my head down and I just move forward, because there's always going to be a house that needs to be sold or purchased, because this is life, and life happens to us every single day, whether it's a divorce or it's death or it's new babies or it's weddings. There's always something going on. And I just focus my everyday habits and my everyday strategies are the same every single day.
Yeah.
But you do have to understand what's happening to kind of be agile and nimble with what that looks like. We are still in an inventory deficit, especially in New Jersey. So supply and demand is,
Right.
still happening. And if somebody needs to sell, please call me, because I can almost guarantee I have a buyer for that house.
Well, how can they find you?
So you can find me. My cell and email is on my web link for Nest Seekers. So you can just go to nestseekers.com and just type in Christen Sachs, or you can contact me at my Instagram, which is The Real Christen Sachs.
Well, you've been a real pleasure.
And I mean, Christen, you are beautiful inside and out. And I love you too. And I'm going to get emotional. No, because when you shared your news with me, I thought, oh my God, why? Why? Because you're just amazing. You're so generous and a blessing truly to anybody that knows you. But now I know why. Because you're here to help. And I know it's going to be more than one person that benefits from hearing your story today. And that's the why. So thank you for being a warrior.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a woman worthy of emulation. Thank you for being a friend to us and the Well Off podcast, and for sharing your story.
Well, it's my pleasure. And I think, and my friends will tell you, I did say that there was a reason why this happened to me. And it's another chapter in my book of providing service,
Yes.
So thank you for being such an amazing friend and bringing me back on here. And
Thank you for coming.
I have been choking back the tears.
No, you're doing a good job.
Well, we have happy tears now that you are well and you can move forward and continue to be an inspiration to anyone who listens, and to women in particular.
Thank you. I
Thank you,
appreciate it,
Christen.
Thank
guys.
you. God bless you.